Hello, everybody. Here before us we have a map which I created back in, see there's a little pride there, 2018. I was pretty excited to create it because I think it solidified everything that I was working on. It put it all together into one little, well, it fused all my intuitions into this data stream, which popped out in this map, which the other videos have covered the basics on how it works. But all of these ratios are extracted from the one being the circle, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 120 degrees, and 360 degrees, which is a circle. So that is, in geometry or angle, that is a 1. And when it comes to wavelength, 1 Planck length, 1, 1. And that's the Planck length. 401.2 nanometers is the Planck length scaled up into color. It happens to be violet, which is cool. I think that's cool. So anyway, what's this map? What good is it? Well, basically, for me, it was a breakthrough. It was the biggest breakthrough ever, and it was probably the cleanest solidification of what I was trying to do this whole time, and it helps me to see what I couldn't see before. I knew some of these using intuition, but this threw them all together perfectly. And how does it work? So simple. That is the wavelength number. That is the this is the division column, and this is the addition column. So, for example, 1 divided by 1 equals 1. 3 divided by 1 equals 1.5. So, yes, that's how all of this is extracted all the way up until infinity, and it tapers out at about 31. This map can be depicted in many ways, but this is the shorthand version. There is another one on my computer, which is the truer, more accurate version, and it is polygram. It is, when this computer loads up, this version here, which I haven't printed out, but this is it. This is the universal derivative of all, starting from 1 being the circle, 2, half, 3 being the triangle, and going up to infinity. But this is every possible modality and every octave that could possibly exist, starting from nothing or a dot to half, and then going down when you get to interesting ones like, which will cover the most significant one in the future, the hack, or this one's very special, which we'll cover, which is 11 divided by 3. Wait a minute. 3 divided by 11. This maps back to front. And so, yes, what does it all mean? What does it all mean? What does anything mean? These questions. This is like constants. This is a universal, if this map's true, this is a universal constant, just as any of the constants are. These systems exist everywhere in the universe, and if other life forms use them to communicate because they are rooted in the baseline units, being the Planck units calculated with h, then this map will come about regardless of where you are in the universe, and these derivatives will exist. So therefore, you can assume that certain creatures will be using some of these modes to communicate because they are universally recognized by the computer that's running all of this. The pyramid sets up a stress in space-time and allows it to transmit out. Now, what's really interesting is that when I created this map, I had such specifically vivid dreams telling me of allotments, positions on the map, and to whom or which system they belong to in my language or in the emotion which certain words represented to me. Because there's no way of communicating universal language outside of mathematics and emotion, the names just mean things to me, but they're also literal at the same time because they're locations or approximations of locations in this galaxy. And or systems that we're aware of, so to speak. So I'll do a little show and tell on my understanding of some of these units. So all of these units are multiple octaves depicted in some of these. Like, for example, I'm showing 2 octaves here. In this one, there's just 1. These are pyramid angles. The angle is measured from the apex here. These are all the universal systems. So, to my understanding, I will let you know which ones I'm aware of, their feeling, and where they link to. And let this be known. See, this is this is not meant to exist yet because it's been derived by my subconscious, but it has no use or it can't even be communicated. Its potential application yet because none of this technology is proven, hasn't been built yet, and it's very hard to build. It's very expensive to build, and that's my life mission. But anyway, this system, the first one, the Planck system, which I've shown 2 octaves here. One's, 45-degree pyramid here. And, sorry, that's a 90-degree pyramid and a 45-degree pyramid here. That's the range of the pyramid octaves, the practical range of these systems. You can't build this system for so many reasons. It's just white noise. It's the source. It's everything. It's just everything's plugged into this. And you can't actually physically make it into a device for multiple reasons as well. This system is the triangle, obviously, equilateral triangle, 1 divided by 3, is what we have here is 3 octaves of that. So you're getting, 1 divided by 3 is 120. Now 1 divided by 6 is 60, so on. And basically that's how it works. So you can see why the equilateral triangle is up here. Now this system, as far as I'm aware, belongs to a group in our language called the Mantis beings. I started off trying to build this system because it was the simplest, yet it's not native to me, it's not compatible with me, and it has major side effects whenever I focus on it. But the Mantis creatures, if anyone's ever heard of them, apparently the dream was so specifically clear when they introduced themselves to me. They pretty much said, what you're trying to do links to us, and that's not for you. That was clear. It was not a warning, but it was like a repulsion almost. So I finally got it. This is fire, this is the pentagram. And it actually happens to be red, which is so interesting. The equilateral triangle is green and the source is violet. This is the exact monochromatic derivative of, so you can punch these colors into the internet and you'll get the approximation in RGB. But basically, this is fire, the pentagram, and not the pentagon, it's different. The pentagram is here, the pentagon is here, just different angles. Again, I don't know about this system. It's not for me. This system here has been the central focus of my entire work. It connects to, I call it the Arcturian system because Arcturus or the Arcturians or whatever that is, that Arcturian, Hyperblue, and the Tall Blue. So 3 groups I'm aware of connect to this system being the Arcturians, tall blue, thin androgynous beings, and the hyperblue, which is like a supermind singularity filtration server. It's a quantum processor, a synthetic intelligence about the size of a planet, a massive argon that is synthetically made into a supercomputer. So this links to there, apparently, and that's its color. It's a nice sky blue color. My intuition is most strong with this, and I figured out how to build this system first. This system, which is actually the system right here, 1 divided by 7. The Arcturian one is 3 divided by 5, which is of the Phi. This is all the Phi group. The Nordic Pleiades, I had a dream so crystal clear as well. The greatest thing of this system, telling me that yes, definitely I can build that one too. These two are the two which I'm most closely linked with. I can extract data to figure out how to build them. The others are way more vague, but this system, Nordic/Pleiades, whatever that means, constellation-wise or genetic features, humanoid, whatever, apparently that's it. That one, the systems of 7, which is the pentacle as well, angles of the pentacle. I think it is. Star of 7 is pentacle, I think. Moving over to a strange section is this one, 427.95, which is 1 divided by 15. This is one of the systems that the forest uses. Oh, not the forest, but I think it is like forest/elemental fairy fae, all that super high intense interesting stuff. It's almost a violet color. Again, this one burns. It's not it burns me. It's too high in blue. But that angle, 48 degrees here is that system. That's where it's one of the systems. It's a major system, that carrier system that sub system can communicate through. Not specifically the forest, but it's roughly that region of energy, that color range. Getting to violet is very much going into that territory. This is the military version of the Nordic one. These two are almost like twins, same as these two, but they're completely different in their nature. But this one, for some reason, military. Not bad, just like security. What we'd call military, but just something to do with that. Some systems are really weird. This one I focused on for ages, but it's completely dead. But the whole systems of 9 seem dead to me. I don't know if it's because of the number is a duplicate of 3, but it's highly mysterious. This whole system always seemed dead, this whole line. And again, some of these taper out. But going on, what are the other ones? This is, I haven't written it here. I didn't draw its angle because I didn't think it was worth. I just filled it in. But this system, I think, will be the very first system to be globally distributed because of its number, which is 3 divided by 11. It creates that wavelength. But because of its wave number, which I'm not going to get into now, it makes it incredibly easy to build. It only has to have a single gas, and everything lines up with this one. So that one's really cool for that reason. There's 2 sizes. The small one is like a little handheld communicator. The large one reminds me of the Death Star for some reason. And that's not literal, but it's my subconscious. It's my subconscious. That's how it all works. Emotional extraction of data using logic and emotion. It's finding things that it reminds me of. This one reminds me of, it's so embarrassing. This one reminds me of the Avengers, but not at all, because it's nonsense. It's like Hollywood nonsense. But if you were to choose cosmic sci-fi genres, this one would be Avengers for sure. This one would be Star Wars for sure. The large version of this. Specifically, it has a name. Coruscant Vega. Coruscant, which means glittering in the dark, which is the planet of Star Wars. Vega, which is also its in the dream, which I had. It's also its coordinates. C is 3. V is 22, but in this it's depicted as 11, which is half, which is the same system. So that's cool. Now, getting to something interesting, when we asked the question once, I got this out in a dream so crystal clear. This is what's known as the MU, or Maldek, or Atlantis feeling system, whatever that is. It's a mysterious dark blue, 554 nanometers, and this one feels very, very close to me, but so far away and absolutely impossible to build because it has 120 wavelengths in it. It's a 15, wrong section. No, it's 17 divided by 15, which the further you go out, the wavelengths go up and the machines have to be built bigger and bigger and bigger. That's how it works. You're too close to the source, there's too few wavelengths, and too far away, there's too many, but there's like a Goldilocks region, and this can be built large, and it was meant to be built large, and it was built huge because it was meant to be, but I'm not ever going to be able to build this, but it works out to being like 4 meters high or something insane. A vacuum chamber clear that was that big would be worth like billions of dollars. Like mental, but obviously money is not an obstacle for those, and all the future when values recognized, it wouldn't be a problem, but I'm not. But anyway, its feeling is very, very nice, and it's very old, and it reminds me of those mythological places. In the dream I had of Maldek, Atlantis, and all of that, especially the color. What other systems exist? It's not like I know about every system at all. Definitely not. I'm only drawn to just a few. Some have certain feelings. This section, as they go further down, they seem to not start to feel evil, but there is a darkness that creeps in with some of them. Like a weird, eerie feeling, as if it is far away. Like this whole area down here feels intimidating. Like not good. Like long, like it feels strange. It's way out of range, like way, way out of range for my antennae, so to speak. But those systems I mentioned, the mantis, which is of 12, not 3, but it's the same. The equilateral triangle being mantis, the Nordic / Pleiades, Arcturus, Arcturians, hyperblue, mind, and tall blues. This one, the forest kind of energies and fairies, fae, all of that elemental stuff here. For this one, Atlantis MU, Maldek for this system here. And there is another one, a very vague one, which is this one, which feels like the mushroom might be related to this color, at least. Not very similar to the other one. It feels they feel completely different because they're different modalities, and the emotional signatures are all relevant. Feels kind of like this psychedelic, this thing, which I'm not a tripper, trust me. Microdosing. Respect, all the respect in the world for the mushroom. It's deadly powerful. It'll blow your brain up if you abuse it. But basically, yeah, I think that's pretty much the extent of my being confident, very, very confident with those systems. The other ones are all mysterious. They have certain feelings, but I don't know what they are. I don't know what half of them mean. I have been distracted by lots of them, but then it drifts off. There is only just a few which have called my name, and to tell me that they exist upon curious inquiry, or more importantly and relevantly, the ones I can actually build. And the other one I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to check up again. Is this one? This system here, which we'll call it the Daniela system because it originally came from a dream a lady had, and it took me years to track down which system it was, but it very strong, very, very strong indicators. It's this one for multiple reasons. And the Star Wars one, this area. So Mantis, Nordic, Arcturian, the Star Wars, Coruscant, Vega, the Forest, and Mu or Atlantis. And you're like, the reason you would choose a system or you'd be drawn to it is because of the color. The color, the carrier wave, the color. Like my color is obviously between here and here. If it goes out of range, trouble can it's just not going to work. You're going to be repulsed by it or intimidated by it or something. Phenomena happen which aren't good, so to speak. So I've learned to only stick with essentially these three. This one, and this one. I know how to build these three. And I've spent more than 15 years now figuring out I tried others, but it's really ended up, these ones became refined to the nth degree, these three here. And they're all, but this one is the simplest, but it's the hardest for me to tune into because it's getting out of my region, but it's there. And it will have a purpose in the future. But yes, that is the map. And I believe that, not now, because now this is all pseudoscientific New Age dust, which is fair enough. I mean, of course, why would you think anything else? But one day, I think this will stand the test of time and it will be relevant after I hopefully am successful with building one of the prototypes. So I hope, I don't know what value this has for anyone, but it's a curious thing, and this data is fresh, and it most certainly didn't come from the minds of anyone else on this planet, but here it is.